What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. A new era has officially begun. Thomas Frank has done his first press conference as Spurs manager and about to take charge of his first game tomorrow, 3 p.m. Reading away. I keep forgetting the car leasing stadium or something like that. The Majetski Stadium.
Majetski, yeah, it's always going to be the Majetski. Come on.
But yeah, exciting times. A lot was said in the press conference. We're going to go through the quotes. The predicted lineups are back as well, and I am gassed for this era to be upon us, man.
Before we start with the quotes, just like a general feeling of seeing Frank in his press conference, how how he answered questions, body language, that kind of stuff. Any kind of thoughts?
Well, if I hone into my expertise of body language, I think yeah, he looked good. He looked positive. He looked fresh. He looked full of enthusiasm and excitement, as every manager does in their first press conference. Yeah, I was quite happy with it. He covered a lot of the topics that we all wanted to hear. And yeah, I think he just looked like raring to go, really.
Yeah, he looked comfortable. I wouldn't say he was as charismatic as someone like Ange, cracking jokes all the time.
You always have to go back to Ange Postecoglou.
Well, what do we have to compare it to? Well, that's kind of that's the assessment we're making. But he definitely seems comfortable, determined. Made a few jokes, one about Arsenal, and he also made a joke about 5 managers being sacked the last time when he took over at Brentford last. So there's a few little quips in there from him. I don't think it's going to be like, judging for his first press conference. Obviously, he's clearly a very good person with people, as he says. Is he going to be as charismatic within the press? It doesn't have to be. It's not what he's going to be judged on, but probably not. But that's okay. But look, I think it was positive. He kind of got his message across very clearly, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there.
Look, the reality is, if he does well on the pitch, people are going to love his press conferences. If he does poorly on the pitch, people are going to hate his press conferences. You know, Ange was great in the press, but once he started losing games, everyone's had so many problems with all of his press conferences. And me personally, I always looked at his press conferences and he gave me a bit of that belief back, even if I wasn't on board with what I was seeing on the pitch. But I think all in all, from a general perspective, I think it all depends on what happens on the pitch of how the press conference are perceived, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would just say he's just not as interesting as watching him as it was Ange, but that doesn't really matter. Then what matters is the content. What matters is what he's saying, not how he says it. And I think there's some interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, look, I really enjoyed the press conference. 20 minutes, which we'll get into the quotes now. I mean, the first one we're going to cover. First of all, let's just take it back to that Arsenal joke for a second, because what he did say in the press conference, he says, "There's one thing for certain. One certainty, we're going to lose games." And I was like, oh, that's not really filling with much confidence. But yeah, it was obviously a joke. And he said the two teams...
No, that wasn't a joke. The joke was the Arsenal.
Yeah. The two teams that haven't lost are Preston and Arsenal. And then he was like, well, Arsenal, I mean, I've already lost. I've already made one mistake because I can't be mentioning Arsenal, basically, is what he was saying.
Which is good self-awareness, at least. Maybe he gets it. Like Ange didn't get the North London derby, like people accuse him. But yeah, that was a funny moment from Thomas Frank. Yeah, obviously, that quote in isolation, there's one thing that's guaranteed, that we will lose matches. And, it's not a great thing to say, but it's truth. I think, and as well, as much as we'd all love to go a season unbeaten, the reality is you're going to have while you're working things out, of course you're going to lose matches, of course you're going to make mistakes, of course things are going to go wrong, and that's how you fix things. You can only fix things when things go wrong, and that's almost a certainty that things at one point will go wrong, and it's how you respond to those things.
Yeah. But I think, it was a very smooth press conference, cool, calm, collected. He was mentioning about Son and Romero. A lot of people are talking about their futures. Obviously, today we did that update with Lacroix and Zabriani, which, we put 2 and 2 together. So if we bring these players, it must mean Romero's leaving. There's been a lot of question marks regarding Son. And he said 2 top players. Sonny has been there for 10 years, finally got his well-deserved trophy in the summer. Romero, World Cup winner, Copa America winner twice, very important for us. Both have trained well, set the standards, and both will play tomorrow, and I'm very happy. And yeah, he said as well on the captaincy that Sonny will captain one half of the team and Romero will captain the other half, which we'll get into more in the captaincy a bit later. But is there anything to read into that regarding Romero and Sonny?
Look, at the end of the day, they're here at the moment, so of course they're going to play. I think Son, of course, right now there's no deal in place. Neither of them are close to leaving, as much as there's speculation. Doesn't mean they're definitely going to stay, but it just means for now, while they're here, they're very important players. Of course, if come the end of the transfer window, they're both in the squad, we know they're both going to be very important players for us going forward. So I don't think there's any indication we're going to force them out or anything. So while they're here, of course, they're going to be important players. One interesting thing he did say about their futures, I should say, is when he said in the press conference about them playing tomorrow, he was obviously asked about their future, and he said, well, the fact they're playing tomorrow, for me, is an indication. He said you should take that as an indication of how I see their futures. That's what he said. So is that him just towing the line right now and not revealing anything about doubts about their futures? Because as long as they're not close to a move, they're very much in the squad and very much important parts of the team? Or is that genuine him saying, look, they're here, I want to keep them, they're not going anywhere, and them playing tomorrow is me saying we have no intention of letting these players go? You can look at it either way. It's hard, obviously managers don't want to reveal too much in their press conferences. They keep their cards very close to their chest. Even if they were close to a move, he would probably say something similar. But if you take him at face value, he's indicating these guys. He's saying these guys are part of the squad, and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it was very similar. I know. I just said don't stop harping back to Ange, but I'm going to harp back to Ange now. And in Ange's first few press conferences, he was asked a lot of questions about Harry Kane, and he never once alluded to him leaving. And then once he did leave, he kind of said like he knew all along he was leaving.
Yeah, and obviously he's been played in a couple of preseason games as well. So I think football is a very fast-moving business, and things change very quickly. Today, Atletico are not prepared to pay the money required, blah, blah, blah. Maybe tomorrow they stump up the cash and that all changes. So I think right now, there's no reason not to play them. There's no reason not to see them as captains and big parts of the team.
And then he did speak about the captaincy, and he was asked whether he decided on the Spurs captain this season. He said, "Good question. I haven't decided on that yet. I have a long list of bullet points to get through. Son was captain last season, and tomorrow we'll have 2 45 minutes. Son and Romero, captains in each. I haven't decided on the captain yet." And he added he will pick the captaincy, and it won't be like a kind of vote or anything like that within the squad.
Yeah, which I think Ange picked the captain, if I remember, last year. But anyway.
But they did say that Ange consulted a lot of players, the leadership group or the leading players or the most experienced players in the squad.
Yeah, Frank doesn't say he won't consult anyone. Anyway, that is interesting, I would say, because Son is the captain of the team. He's a very well-respected member of the team. The fact that he hasn't confirmed that he's going to be the captain, does that say that he's either not convinced he's the right person, or he just wants to make his own decision for himself? Or is that an indication of doubts about his future? You can read into that a few different ways. I would have assumed if Son is staying, he'd be the captain, and there would be no doubt about that. The fact that he's saying he hasn't decided, is that just him stamping his authority, saying, look, the captaincy is my decision, he might well just pick Son? Or is he genuinely looking at the situation thinking maybe we might need a new captain? Well, it's hard to know which way he sees it.
Well, we did hear yesterday regarding Son that after the Korean tour, they're going to sit down and talk about his future, properly. So maybe a decision can't be made until that conversation is had.
Right, but the decision about his future or captaincy you're talking about?
Well, both, really. I mean, future, they go hand in hand, don't they?
They do, but while he's here, he's the captain. I guess he's captaining tomorrow, I understand that, but it's interesting he didn't just go and say, Son's our captain.
The thing is, if he names Son as captain right now, and then all of a sudden after the Korean tour, he's gone, and he's got to name another captain. So I think he wants to wait and see how the land lies until after the tour, and then just name that captain.
Fair. I think that's probably, so he's just playing a bit diplomatically. So I guess that does suggest there is still uncertainty about his future.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But so do you think if there was an uncertainty, he would have just said Son's our captain.
That's how I have it in my mind.
That's how you read it. Fair. That's fair reading.
He's talking about injuries as well. 3 players come back from injury. Madison, he said, is part training with the team, so that's positive. He says Dragshin and Kulusevski are a little bit further away, so I don't really expect to see any of those. Well, definitely not the latter 2, but Madison even tomorrow.
No, I mean, if he's only part training the team, he won't play. Dragshin and Kulusevski probably sounds like maybe closer to the start of the season or later on as well. We know Dragshin had an ACL, Kulusevski had that big knee injury, so I doubt they'll be rushed back, and we're going to see. I think they're probably going to be missing the whole preseason. But Madison, maybe in time for the tour, if he's already part training now, maybe come the tour he'll be ready to play.
Yeah, I would assume so. He was asked, obviously, about Morgan Gibbs-White. Everyone wanted to hear about Gibbs-White, and he just gave the classic kind of, I'm not going to speak about players at other clubs, basically. That's what he was saying.
He said the only 2 players he talks about at other clubs were Messi and Ronaldo. That's it. He doesn't talk about anyone else. We were never going to learn anything about that. The rumours are, at the moment, still with Gibbs-White, it's positive from a Tottenham point of view, but we're still kind of waiting to hear anything concrete. And Frank's doesn't seem the type of character who's going to publicly try and put any pressure on anyone.
Yeah. And he did make a very big nod to Ange Postecoglou as well in the press conference. He says, first and foremost, Ange will forever be a legend here at Tottenham, one of the only 3 who have won a European trophy here, and the first in 41 years. So, I mean, you look at the managers that have won European trophies: Bill Nicholson, Keith Birkinshaw, and now Ange Postecoglou. So, most definitely a legend at this football club.
For sure. I don't think that's in doubt. Unbelievable moment in Bilbao. But look, Frank has been very gracious about Ange. He was obviously in his first interview with Tottenham, he mentioned him, saying, what a fantastic achievement. Obviously, he's reiterated that now. So, look, not too much to say about it, but very nice of Frank to say that.
Yeah, and he did say in his first interview that was on Spurs YouTube and Spurs Play that, he's going to be the beneficiary, basically, of all the good work that Ange Postecoglou did put in of those first 2 years. And I believe that to be true. I really
100%.
do.
And not just, first of all, getting in the Champions League and stuff, but also bringing through a lot of these younger players who are going to be even more ready now next season and in a much better position to contribute at a higher level.
He was asked about the expectations at Spurs, and he says, I think it was extremely positive that they won the Europa League. The first aim that we need to be able to compete in all 4 competitions. That has to be the aim. I think 2019 was the last time they managed to compete in different competitions. Obviously, that was when we got to the Champions League final and finished 4th that year.
Yeah. But if he's saying that's the only season we've competed on multiple competitions, because he's saying we got to the Champions League final, we finished 4th that year. I don't think we did much in the cups, but if memory serves. But if that's the first season, how many times have we actually done that?
Well, not.
Is that the only time we've ever done that? If that's the criteria?
Well, there was years under Pochettino where we got to semi-finals of the FA Cup and we were doing well in the league as well. So that is competing on multiple fronts as well.
But then technically, Poch's first year we finished 5th and got to the final of the League Cup. Does that count?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we were in Europa League that year.
Yeah, we flopped.
Yeah, we flopped in the Europa League. So
how far do you think you have to go in a European competition for it to count as competing on? Is it a semi-final or quarter-final? The year under Poch,
expectations grow year on year because it's his first year. I think he'll be given a bit of leeway, trying to rebuild the squad or add to the squad to make it able to fight on all these fronts, which it clearly wasn't built to do last season. So I think maybe this year might be a different story to maybe next year, but I think the idea will be to go deep in every competition or to try to.
If he's saying
going deep is quarterfinals and beyond, yeah.
So quarterfinals. So under Conte, we finished. We didn't finish top 4. We finished top 4, but we weren't in any cups. The season after, we were in a race for top 4. Then we went out last 16 in the Champions League, and then we obviously flopped and finished 8th. So that's obviously not competing. So I guess, yeah, I'm just trying to gather what his criteria is for competing.
Last season,
I guess quarterfinals. Yeah.
Last season, we reached past the semi-finals or beyond in 2 competitions, and then we completely flopped in 2 other competitions.
So is that not competing in multiple competitions?
Well, by the very definition, it is.
Technically,
but I think the Premier League has got to be your bread and butter, and the Premier League is the first and foremost what you have to compete in.
I understand that. So obviously he will get some leeway for it being his first season, but I'm just trying to judge him. If I'm trying to just get into his mindset of the criteria of what it means to be competing in multiple competitions. So he says that's the aim. And is it something that is at the aim this season or something to build towards?
I think it's something to build towards. I mean, that will be the aim this season, but if he does it or not, it'll be very hard to achieve that, in my opinion, because of the way the squad's built. Depends how the rest of the transfer window goes. If we keep building in this way and we keep bringing these kind of caliber players in, the expectations will go up. If we go with what we have, which I highly doubt, then yeah, it'll be very hard to do so. So look, I think the aim for this season probably should be to get into the knockouts of the Champions League, last 16, top 6 of the Premier League, I think should be the aim, and try pick up a domestic trophy.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think we'll take that.
Yeah.
I think we'd all take that, yeah.
Yeah. But you always got aim high, don't you?
Of course. And I'm sure he is. You know, I don't think Frank comes into this job, I don't know, with the feeling, oh, you know what, we finished 17th last season, let's just get top 10. I think he knows this squad should be competing in that top 6. I think he knows that.
Then he was talking about how proud he is to be Spurs manager, and he said, very proud to sit in this chair and be a part of the next chapter in Tottenham's history. I'll do everything every day to hopefully take this club to new heights. That's the ambition. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have big ambitions.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, every manager comes in straight away and says these kind of stuff, isn't it?
Of course.
You wouldn't expect anything else. What else has he said?
He was talking about Kudus as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the quote on Vinay, and here's the Kudus one. It says, it's a great signing, top work from Daniel, Vinay and Johan in getting in a really good player ahead of pre-season. It gives us unpredictability in the game. His finishing is really good. He's almost the perfect age, not to just perform, but to take to the next level.
Yeah, and that's what kind of we've been saying in terms of why the signing's so exciting. And even though some people, mostly salty West Ham fans, are being negative about it because we've spent a hefty amount of money on a player who didn't have a good season and supposedly down tools and all this kind of stuff. I think when you look at objectively the kind of player he is, how he fits into the squad, what he brings to the table that we don't have, and the age of the player, I think there is so much to be excited about for this transfer. And I think what Frank says is absolutely right. He also mentioned, his finishing. He's been very impressed with his finishing in training. He said as well, that dribbling ability. He was talking about his metrics in dribbling and stuff. So there's a lot of things that people point out about Kudus. So clearly, he's looked at him very carefully and he decided this is the player that we should bring in. And I think it is a fantastic bit of business, and I think it could end up being a bargain potentially.
Yeah. He was talking about his principles, and he said, I'm very clear in my principles. I want to see the team be brave, aggressive and attack. Brave is linked to dare is to do. If you are not brave, it is very difficult to achieve anything. Being aggressive is very important, and of course we need to attack. So, I mean, a lot of fans that maybe weren't on board with Frank when we brought him in were saying, oh, we're just bringing this Brentford manager, all he does is sit back and counter-attack. I mean, that's not what that's saying.
And it's true, but I do remember Mourinho and Conte saying similar things when they came. Like, they didn't say, we're just going to sit back. I remember Mourinho said, oh, I want to play beautiful football. I remember Conte saying, I want to entertain, I want to play good football, and that didn't really happen. But that's not to say it won't happen with Frank. I think Frank knows how to, I think we've seen with Brentford this season, he's wanted to play a bit more of an offensive style, and he's changed up his tactics compared to the much more pragmatic style he was in the first couple of years in the Premier League. So as much as obviously for when you're Brentford manager, if you want to get results, you're going to have to be have that pragmatic side. So he has that. And I'm sure obviously at Tottenham we'll have probably a bit more we'll have more pragmatism than last season we had under Ange, but I'm also sure that he's not going to go into any game thinking I want to draw. I think he's going to attack, he's going to see the talent we have and think we can win every game.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is Ange kind of came into it saying, like, I have my way of playing, and we're going to build the team around that. Another quote from Frank in this press conference was like, I have my philosophies for when we sit deep. I have my philosophies when we, press high up the pitch, and all these different things that he was saying. So very much he's got plans for any which way we can play, and it's not just one way or the highway.
Yeah, and that is what we're hoping will stand us in good stead, being a bit more tactically flexible and having different systems and different ways we can switch things up mid-game, which Frank has definitely been known for. So that's what's probably most exciting about
Yeah,
that.
I agree. He's talking about Lucas Bergvall, and he said that Lucas Bergvall has been very good on the grass. He's trained every session and looks good. I'm very happy with that. So I can't wait to see a bit of Bergvall ball tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. I think he is just someone, I know he had a brilliant season last year, but I'm so excited about another season of Bergvall and what he can bring, and him going from strength to strength, because this guy has just been on a massive upward trajectory for the last ever before he got that injury pre-Bodo, which was a massive blow. So hopefully he can carry on that trajectory, because if we can get the Bergvall we got basically from January onwards from week one, that's an incredible prospect.
Yeah. And last but not least, he said on why he joined a club that sacked 5 managers whilst he was at Brentford. And he says, I like to challenge myself. I have the privilege of I have never been sacked before. Well, and he says, that is one of the reasons why I took the job. I get a little bit more risk in my daily life. Coming to a big club, there are pressures. We need to perform because it's me. It's the staff and the players, the staff and everyone we need to do together. I like the ambitions. Everything I do, every decision I have made so far is for the long term. It's not about survival, one game or one year or 18 months or whatever the average is. It's for the long run. So, I mean, he's obviously planning to be here for a long time, and you wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, which I think if you're a manager of a club the size of Tottenham, as much as the history of our managers, you have to act in that way. You have to act as if you're going to be here in the long term. I think that's what the club obviously expect. Obviously, you have managers like Mourinho and Conte who themselves spoke like they wanted to be here for a long time, but their actions didn't really suggest that they did. I remember Conte was always saying, oh, it needs to be a project. He was saying, look at the other guys, they've been in the job for a long time, we're nowhere near that kind of thing. So he was always speaking like he wanted
kind of
to be
said
here.
that, but his contract never suggested that.
That's what I'm saying. His actions speak louder than the words, and his actions never suggested he was committed to the long term. Mourinho as well said something, was saying things similar to the effect, and they probably believed it, but it's about showing it. So I think Frank has shown it, though, unlike Mourinho and Conte, that he can build something stable at a club for over a long stretch of time. Even Ange, that wasn't really what he was known for at his other clubs. He was known for, being somewhere and for a short time and then moving on. So hopefully we can get a bit of stability with Frank. I'd love Frank to be our manager for a very, very long time and be here for, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. That'll be a phenomenal, means he's done a great job. But we know at Tottenham it's hard to do that, but let's see if he can do it.
He was also speaking about fans spotting through social media that the team was doing long throw auditions. And he says, I believe it's not only maximising the players' potential and the team's potential, but we also need to do what we can to make sure we have enough threats from everywhere on the pitch. And that one area is set pieces. So, I mean, I'm delighted that we're going to be focusing very hard on set pieces. It's been for too long, probably since Gianni Vio was at the club. And even then, it was just a short stint where we've been really strong from set pieces.
Yeah. I think we were improving from set pieces last season. I think Ange's first season we were terrible, so bad. I think there was an improvement last season, but obviously I also feel like it wasn't something that was a main priority. And obviously we didn't have a set piece coach. We know that we do now. So hopefully those things really improve. He didn't want to give anything away about who impressed or who won the long throw auditions when asked. He kind of kept that close to his chest.
Rumour has it was Kevin Dancer.
Yeah, that's the rumours, which doesn't surprise me, to be honest. But I don't know how much he's going to be starting. But if he, I wonder who would be if he's not on the team. But it would be very interesting if it is a centre back who is going to be taking our long throws, how that changes things from the setups and how that changes things, how we kind of go about doing those kind of set pieces. That's something we've never done before. Have a centre back take a long throw, and then you have to move someone else to centre back, and you have to change things up. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But I think these marginal gains, these attention to detail, I think it'll help us. That stuff.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's all we're going to react to in the press conference. But all in all, it did leave me feeling positive to what the season can hold. Obviously, we need to see how the transfer window progresses and everything like that. Get Gibbs White over the line and see what can happen from there. But yeah, I left that after watching that feeling really good about the new season.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think there's a lot to be excited about with Thomas Frank, and there's a lot about what he said and how we said it, which is good. Yeah, so looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm very excited for tomorrow. Come on, Spurs are back, people. And next up, we are going to be going through a predicted lineup, people. We're going to pick 2 lineups. So one to take to the field in the first half, one to take the field in the second half. It's absolutely just impossible to predict this lineup, to be honest. But for one thing's for certain we know is the injury news going into this game. And what is it?
Yeah, and is what Frank was saying. Obviously, Bergvall back on the pitch in training, so that's fantastic. But Maddison, part training with the team, so he's not going to be available tomorrow. Dragoshin and Kulusevski too far away to be involved in the upcoming preseason game. So I think that's it. I think at the moment.
So one thing's for certain that we know from the press conference is that Sonny will play one half and Romero will play one half. So I think for the first half, I think it will be Sonny, in my opinion.
Yes. Now the question is, what formation we're going to play?
I think we'll start with 4-3-3.
I agree, because we've got no Maddison, we've got no Decky. Obviously, Gibbs White's not here yet, so we don't really have a number 10. So I think at the moment it's going to have to be 4-3-3, unless you play like Bergvall there. But
so I think we can start Sonny on the left.
So that'll be the first one. Son is going to go on the left-hand side, and if we're trying to envisage. Did Son and Romero come back at the same time, or did Romero come back a bit later?
Son came back later.
Son came back later than Romero. So Romero came first.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think that plays into it, really.
I'm just trying to work out, because maybe they'll want to keep the players who came back a bit later together, potentially. But maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Look, all in all, these games are just glorified training sessions, aren't they? So I don't think it matters too much, to be honest. But look, we are starting Son on the left. I think in goal.
Okay, yeah, Big Vic.
Yeah, I think Vic will start in goal. Right back, Porro was like literally the first guy back.
Yeah,
I think Porro
is going to be there.
will start at right back. Moving on at right centre back, so it won't be Romero. So I'm assuming Danso, or could we see Vuskovic? I assume
he's been training, hasn't he? So obviously we know Dragoshin's definitely not. So we got so for Romero's second half, we've got Danso, Vuskovic, and Takai, and Phillips.
Yeah.
So could be Vuskovic. I think Danso will definitely be one of them. And Van der Ven as well, obviously.
Yeah, Van der Ven will be left centre back, but if we're gonna
go Van der Ven there, I guess it'll be Danso, and maybe Vuskovic in the second half.
Nah, because we're saying Romero. Oh, it's Romero second half.
Yeah, are we going for a new? If we're going for a new 11.
Yeah, I've just got a feeling it's going to be Takai. Unless Takai hasn't been training for that long. He's only been training a couple of days.
We don't have Takai.
We don't have Takai.
Oh, no, do we? We do. We do. He has only been training a couple of days. I don't know if he starts. I think starting is a bit much. He probably needs a few more sessions with the team. He'll probably get some minutes, but I don't know.
Well, I put Danso right centre back. And then at left back, are we going to go for a doggy, Ben Davis?
Or Spence?
Spence even.
Because Spence came back one of the earliest. He's probably spent the most time with Frank. The doggy came back a bit later with the international players. Got a feeling it might be Spence, but not a strong feeling.
It's just impossible to say. I mean, put Spence like...
Just judging by he spent a bit more time with Frank, so maybe he'll just get the run out for the first half. All right, midfield 3.
So
all our midfielders came back a bit later, didn't they? Maybe except for Bergvall. Maybe Bergvall was there early.
Bergvall's been there for early. I I think the midfield, let's see what options that we got.
We got Bentancur, Basuma, Bergval, Sarr, Devine.
I think Bentancur.
Oh, Donnelly.
Oh, Donnelly, yeah.
Donnelly there as well.
I think Bentancur will start.
Bentancur will start.
Actually, you got Basuma there as well.
You got Basuma there.
Yeah, I think it'll be
Sarr.
one half Bentancur, one half Basuma in the deep lying role.
So, and then maybe Sarr and Bergval? And then maybe Basuma, Devine and Donnelly in the second half?
Yeah, I like that.
So Bergval here. Sarr here. Like that.
And then on the right wing, we'll see Brennan Johnson.
Not Kudus?
I think Kudus comes on second half.
Kudus comes on second half to make his debut. So we're going to have Brennan to start, and then I want Big Dom.
And Big Dom Solanke up top. So this is what we're going for to start the first pre-season friendly under Thomas Frank. So we're going Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Jed Spence left back, a back two of Danso and Mickey van der Ven, Rodrigo Bentancur, Pape Matar and Lucas Bergval in the midfield three, with Lucas Bergval obviously playing like the kind of 10 or more advanced role, with Bren Johnson on the right, Sonny on the left, and Dom Solanke up top with Sonny captaining the side. If we refresh that and we go for what would be the second half team, I think, so in goal will be Kinski, obviously.
Yep. Where is he? Kinski, yep.
So in goal will be Kinski. Right back, could look at Archie Gray.
Yeah, Archie Gray. Yeah. Yeah, who else would there be, really?
Right centre back, we're going to go for...
Vuskovic, maybe?
What are we saying? Vuskovic right centre back and Takai left centre back.
What about Davis?
Yeah.
Davis or...
Oh, yeah, Davis left centre back and Vuskovic right centre back.
Could even do that thing where Vuskovic and Takai share the half.
Yeah, it could be.
So let's go for Vuskovic. Gonna get a debut.
Not even, he doesn't even have a number there.
You're gonna wear the 81 or 80? Is it?
Yeah, 80 I think it is. Left back, we are gonna go for Destiny Udogi.
Destiny at left back.
Bissouma in the 6, I believe.
Bissouma in the 6. Alfie Devine.
Yeah.
In the 8.
Jamie Donnelly.
And Jamie Donnelly. Where are you? We might not have him. Where is he? Yeah, I don't see him.
All right, well, he's not there, but we'll leave that one blank. But Jamie Donnelly is going to be there. In up front, I think Dane Scarlett probably gets the nod.
Over Richarlison?
Oh, sorry, Richarlison. I completely forgot about Richarlison.
Yeah, I think Rishi. On the left, Matisse.
Matisse Tell, yeah, for sure. No, Matisse isn't back yet, is he?
He came back today. Him and Odebear both did.
I don't know.
Mikey Moore.
I think Matisse and Odebear probably need a few more minutes.
Mikey Moore, or maybe even Yang Min Hyuk.
I think Mikey. Put Mikey on the left.
Mikey on the left, and Mohamed Kudus.
Mohamed Kudus on the right for his debut. So this is what we're going for the second half, is Antonin Kinski in goal, Archie Gray right back, Destiny Udogi left back, a back pairing of Vuskovic and Ben Davis, Bissouma, Devine and Donnelly in the midfield three.
We do have a Manor Solomon.
Manor as well, yeah.
Do you have a Manor on the left, potentially over Mikey?
He came back fairly early as well.
Yeah. So would he, and also, would he need an opportunity?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
What are we going for, Mikey or Manor?
I mean, I'd prefer Mikey, but it could be Manor.
Oh, we'll stick with Mikey for now. We'll see. If we don't get it right, we don't get it right. What can we do? But yeah, that's the midfield three. Kudus on the right, Moore on the left, and Richarlison up top. So yeah, many players getting many minutes. And yeah, even if Mikey starts the second half, it doesn't mean Manor can't come on at some point in the second half.
Yeah, and also obviously we're assuming there's going to be 11 changes. Might not be, but
yeah,
might be fewer. But it's mad. You would think about the players who we're not giving opportunities to at the moment. If the players that we haven't used.
We didn't put Romero in.
Oh, that was stupid. So Romero for Vuskovic.
Yeah, sorry. So that'll be Archie right back, Romero and Davis centre backs, and Destiny Udogie left back, with Alfie Devine, Jamie Donnelly, Bissouma in the middle of the park. Kudus on the right, Mikey Moore on the left, and Richarlison up top.
But just to put context of the players we're not using to give context for the squad size, there's Kota Takai, Luka Vuskovic, Jan Min-hyuk, there's Matisse Tell, there's Wilson Odebear, there's Manor Solomon, Dane Scarlett, there's obviously Madison and Decky, who are both injured, Dragoshin as well, Ashley Phillips, who will hope and get opportunities. That's almost a team in itself.
George Abbott. Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad.
It's crazy.
We're about 10 players over. So, I mean, over the course of this game and the next game, I think everyone's going to get some minutes. So it's just about figuring out who gets the minutes when, really. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we've just got this completely wrong. But,
for sure.
But we will see what happens. I'm absolutely gassed to see them line up the field tomorrow. We'll be here. We'll be doing a watch along. So come and tune in at 2:45, where we'll go live for the watch along with a post-match fan show happening after, and the pre-match pump up with Kate and Jimbo as well. So big up to them. So match day content coming back to your screens, and we're here for it, man. I cannot wait. We've got a couple of super chats to get into before we go on to the last segment of the show. And Joey Boy says, big up, guys. I always look forward to your live streams. Thank you very much, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Malware, big up to you, Malware, says, good to see a normal stream and not seeing Arsenal fan on the left who resembles Cucurella infused with Mo Salah. Big up, boys.
Oh, God, yeah, that was funny yesterday.
And Crazy Rat says, even though Ange has left, his initial strategies shaped Tottenham's future path with Sim's backing and the Rat's antics forever in their history.
100%. We are part of the history, me and you, Crazy.
All right. So that is that.
And we've got another super chat with a sticker, but can't really read the name.
Let's see. I can't see it on my screen. Do you want to bring it on? You can't. We can't even bring it on the screen. But thank you very much for that. Do we have our guest?
Give him a moment.
Give him a moment.
A moment. Oh, the prima donna. That is.
What's he doing? Guest. Is he doing his makeup?
God. Who does he think he is? Who does he think he is? Give me a moment.
He's probably just watching the press conference for the 5th time today or something like that. But yeah.
And yeah, we've got the embargoed section as well coming out later, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, 10:30 tonight. Very much looking forward to it. There's always more juicy stuff in the embargoed section, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Ange's press conference. The embargo just went off in every embargoed section.
It always goes all some weird rant about something, and yeah, it was always very interesting.
He needs a passcode.
I'll send it to him.
Okay.
Apparently,
zoom in on that angle as well.
An interview of Christian Mosquera for Arsenal has been leaked to the internet. So it looks like he signed.
Oh, like we care.
Just a bit of news.
People are saying it's got to be Daigle.
What do you reckon?
We never bring Daigle on this. Why would it be Daigle?
Daigle wouldn't act like a prima donna.
Exactly.
Can't be Daigle. Surely not.
Nathan Newman says, I hope Ange bought a We Are Tottenham TV t-shirt. He's probably got that t-shirt saying, I'm loving Big Ange instead.
Yeah, we need to send him one free of charge.
Another super chat here from Kate and Jimbo saying, pumped for the pumps, for the pump-ups. Coys. I'll tell you, the pump-ups are going to have a different feel to them this season. Absolutely different feel. Positivity all right. I know towards the end of the season, Europa League aside, it was probably very hard for Kate and Jimbo to pump everyone up. But I know they've gone away for the summer. renewed energy, new signings through the door. Thomas Frank is here. They are going to be raring to go to pump you lot up. But
is he ready? Has he had his time? He's
had his
done
time.
everything he needed to do.
His makeup. He's got his. He said he was going to be wearing a certain T-shirt for this stream. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Yeah, do you want it?
You want to go for another
he's
change?
getting pampered. He's having a quick manicure, and then he's going to be back.
Oh God, Nathan Newman saying, when is it going to be me? You have to call in for the post-match fan shows, my friend. Call in for the post-match fan shows. We'll be doing one tomorrow. You're more than welcome to join us. The Prima Daigle people are calling him.
D with a comment says, Sim, stop trying to nitpick everything Frank says and stir things up because of your love affair for Ange. Let it go and stop being a secret salty hater.
Yeah, not wrong, mate.
He is wrong.
He's not wrong.
What am I nitpicking? All I said is he's not as charismatic as Ange. Ange had the whole room he's like a stand-up comedian at times. Frank's not that character. That's not a criticism. It's just different. That's what it is. All right,
let's bring on the conductor. Fully Frankish. Here we go. Thomas the Frank Engine. Chew, fucking chew, people. Big up, Daigle.
Big up to you.
I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either. Can the chat hear him?
Yeah.
You should be able to.
Is our headphones plugged in?
Wait, I think...
Rookies.
Yeah. Unplugged. One sec. It's here.
Where is it?
Did you not plug it in?
I did. It must have...
Where is it?
Can you hear me now?
Where's this though?
You're such rookies.
Plug it in then.
What is going on?
I see it got unplugged.
Well, let me just speak to everyone else. Can you hear me
There
now?
you go. We can
hear you now. Come on.
So first of all, let's just address a few things. First of all, makeup. No amount of makeup is sorting this boat out. So we ain't got to worry about that. And for the love of God, get rid of this bloody passcode.
We're trying.
Is it even possible? Can you do that on Zoom? I don't even know.
Like, it never happened last season, ever.
It must be a setting we have.
Maybe
we need some Daigle technical support.
No, it's because of Thomas Frank. It's because of Thomas Frank. Everything's been upped.
We've got a super chat here from Charlie Vale says, there's only one Brian Daigle.
Thank you, Charlie,
Brian
buddy.
Daigle.
I think the world is very, very delighted that I am only one of one. One of one.
Give us a nice little show of the T-shirt, man. That is some T-shirt.
Oh, mate, it's wicked. It's wicked. This was a last-minute thing coming on, so I completely forgot. There you go. Wait a minute. I don't want to stretch it.
Thomas
I can't
the
wait
Frank
to be wearing
Engine.
this. I am delighted to be wearing it right now. Fits like a treat. Nice and
Daigle, you literally said, we did an update yesterday, and you literally said, all right, Frank's press conference, I got to wear the T-shirt.
Okay, but let me just explain. I said to you, Sammy sent me a message saying, do you want to come on? And I was like, yes. And everything went out my mind. So I do apologise. I do apologise. Let's just say that's 1-1 for you changing your logo and making my tattoo obsolete.
People in
It's
the
not
chat,
obsolete at all. It's not obsolete at all.
We're even.
people in the chat are calling you Prima Daigle.
If that's what, look in your chat, I've been called a lot worse, so I will take it. I will goddamn take it.
Daigle, the first press conference was today, obviously. I'm sure you've watched it about 2 or 3 times already. What was your initial reaction to it?
I was just like a school kid going, over a crush. Mate, listen, the guy is a class act. The guy is just a pure and simple class act. He was very composed. Turned the questions well. I'm just delighted. I'm just delighted with everything he said. I am so pumped and so happy for this man to be here and just to hear him talking. I think the welcome video was flawless, and I think he's handled himself flawlessly again. Yeah. Of course, it's just the beginning, and obviously it's all nice and everything at the beginning, but just hearing him come out and speaking the way he did, about his vision, what he sees with the club. I just love listening to this man. So, Steve, I know you were saying with Ange and everything, blah, blah, blah. move aside and listen to what this man has to say.
Why do I have to say he's more charismatic than Ange? I'm just stating an objective observation that he's not as charismatic as Ange.
You're observing things wrongly. You need
Why is it wrong?
I think you had your tinted glasses on.
So you think you think the way he speaks is as charismatic as Ange?
Well, it depends what way you want to look at it. He's talking.
It's not criticism. It's not criticism. No, it's just different.
He's talking charismatically about what he wants to do on the football pitch,
and
all that. No, it's not all a sideshow and everything else. Listen, Ange, I don't even want to really talk about Ange. It's done. I just so happy we have this man at the football club and leading us. And you know what? Even just before we get into it, even when you were doing your pre-match lineups or predictions, sorry, I don't even think it's going to be a 4-3-3.
What do you think?
Well, like you did when you did your when we're doing it a couple of weeks ago, it could be a 4-2-3-1. It could be a back five. It could be. This is the beauty of it. This is the beauty or the struggle you're going to have this season. For every game we play, it's not going to be okay like Conte 3-4-3, 3-4-3, and with Ange 4-3-3, 4-3-3. He's going to mix and max and juggle it, and I think it's blooming brilliant. I think it's brilliant that not only do we don't know, the opposing team won't have a goddamn clue what we're doing. People probably don't realise or haven't seen me been so pumped up for like 2 months straight.
And it ain't stopping now.
It's going. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
What do you think about his comments regarding Son and Romero and the future of the captaincy? He said he hasn't chosen his captain yet, and he's saying basically that's something that he will decide. And you know, he said Son's going to be the captain tomorrow, but he hasn't yet chosen a new captain. You know, given that Son's our captain and a legend. So the chances of him stripping him of the captaincy are not zero. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, obviously, if Son's staying, I would imagine. I think that throws more shadow on is Son committing or is he going to leave? But for some reason, I think that was the best part of the press conference when he said, "Listen, when he was asked, is the decision going to be with the players, or is the final decision with you?" For the captaincy, he was like, "It's my decision. There's going to be some kind of authority figure there. There's going to be someone said it's my way or the highway kind of thing." And I just love that comment. I absolutely love that comment. It's one of the key takeaways for me. I absolutely love that. But you'd imagine if we're looking at leaderships within the team, it depends how frank and everyone looks at it. You wouldn't say there are many other leaders you can add to that leadership team that we currently have there, can you?
At this moment in time, yeah, unless, you know,
exactly.
Morgan Gibbs-White. I know. Ange straight away put James Maddison as vice captain. You know, and Morgan Gibbs-White was vice captain and captained them a number of times last season. Do you think Morgan Gibbs-White could straight away be in that leadership group?
He could be, but you got to look at it, Ben. When we heard the injury news, Kulusevski and Madders are still a little bit, or Madders was closest, wasn't it? It's Kulu and so the leadership team at the moment really is Romero and Sonny and a Vicario. So we'll have to wait and see. But if he's going to have a leadership team, I'd imagine, like all managers, they'd want their leadership team available.
Yeah, for sure.
And with all, you know, he's talking about Romero. He said the fact that he's playing tomorrow is an indication of where his future lies. But we have seen reports today of some centre backs being linked. Where do you see this one going?
Yeah, there's been quite a few centre backs linked today. It's going nuts again, isn't it? I think he wants Romero to stay. I will say Romero's come back, and obviously we're seeing all the videos. He's been very, very active in training. He looks happy, but that's just training with the lads. Like Morgan Gibbs-White was smiling at Notts Forest yesterday.
How dare he smile whilst he's training with Nottingham Forest?
I know, how dare he? I mean, how dare he wear Nottingham Forest colours whilst he's training? How dare he? How out of order? I hope Romero is staying. I hope, and against him, in like we did on the update Sunday, for me, if he's staying, it has to be with him signing a new contract. If he's not going to sign a new contract, then you've got to start thinking about alternatives. And maybe that's why the links to the defenders have come up, because I can't see us spending 70 million on a defender if Romero's staying. I don't know what world we're living in where that could be feasible. But Romero will play a big part in the game tomorrow, as will Sonny, and it's going to be good to see what their what condition they're in.
It was interesting to see him talk about his principles. Had to drop the Tadares to do in there, obviously, and talking about wanting to attack, be aggressive, and he's also talking about what we were alluding to before about he's got philosophies for all different styles of play.
I also love the bit where he keeps saying, if you don't take risks, that's a risk in itself.
Yeah.
I love that line. And when he was going on about his cultures and his principles, he's very heavily focused on them, isn't he? And it's how he set the cultures up. I mean, even the respect he paid everyone at Brentford when he was speaking about it. I think he just comes across so well, doesn't he? You believe everything he's saying. And it's just going to be fascinating to see tomorrow. I can't wait. All the talking is over. He's here. The manager's in. Obviously, he's winning more and more people over. The more and more people have done their research on videos or taken from the press conference, this video, the welcome video, the training videos. So I think more and more people are being won over. Obviously, he's now the hard work starts, and that's what his job based on. And I think he's going to do wonderfully well for us.
What are you looking at tomorrow when you're, because obviously we know pre-season results don't really matter. It's more about players getting up to fitness and performances as well.
You say results don't matter. We lose tomorrow. Daigle's going to be coming on here fuming. Big rant incoming.
Spend the money, Levy.
No.
Pay the lawyers. Pay the bloody lawyers and get Morgan Gibbs right over the line.
Thomas Frank is, like I said, I'm his first line of defence. I'm going to be the sim equivalent of Ange last season. That is going to be me through hell and high water, rough and good times. What is it they say? For rich and for poor, and sickness and health till death do us part. I will be on defending Frank. The most important thing I'm looking forward to him. Obviously, we all say the results. Apart from the filth derby. The other results, whatever. I think the most important thing for me and what I want to see is his different formations. How and not just his different formations from the start of the game. I'm sure he'll mix it up throughout the game, regardless of the score, just so the players will get the message or be able to put into practice what they're doing on the training pitch. So if he switches from, let's just say 4-2-3-1 to 3-5-2 to 4-3-3, that all the players come the start of the season know their position and know their role and what to do when Frank changes in-game, not just the start of the game. I think this is vital because we are going from a manager that will change formations and styles of play throughout the game, unlike as often or a lot more regular than Ange did. Ange tweaked things for games, didn't he? He didn't really change tactics during games.
When he did, it didn't really work.
Exactly. So I think that's a key fundamental to work on, because the players are going to be asked to do a lot more to their roles than they were last season.
Do you think we will see big differences tomorrow? Are you hoping for that, or is it about, it's going to obviously going to take a lot of time, especially considering a lot of the players haven't even been back in training for that long. But I do remember, when Ange's first summer, you did see a change very quickly. I was actually thinking in my head, like, not many managers at Tottenham have actually had their first pre-season, like, as in they've just come in the job and it's their first pre-season. Most of them come in mid-season and their first pre-season is like their second season. That's usually how it works. But obviously Ange when he first came in, he had a pre-season, and then you did see quite a quick difference in, I think, the first few friendlies.
Do you remember that first game? His first pre-season was against West Ham.
Yeah,
wasn't
what
it?
a difference.
And we lost that game, but we're all just sitting there being like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a difference. Yeah.
And Barcelona, when we played Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Lamine Yamal, that was like the birth of Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, I remember, yeah. So you hoping tomorrow? Go on, Brian.
I was just about to say to him, that pre-season under Ange, that very, very first pre-season, you're right. and credit two hands for this, the drastic. I mean, he came in mid-June or very early July, and then we literally had the turnaround and change of style from Conte. You got to remember, it was Conte, Ball, and Stellini and Mason. That was night and day, wasn't it? The way he got his message over straight away was incredible, and we all went into that first season going, "Oh my God, look at this! How are they going to cope with us?" So he had an instant impact. We'll see tomorrow with Justin Concrete, Thomas Frank, and the rest of the team, but it doesn't need to be drastic or immediate. He's got these games to do it, and all that matters is they are ready for Spurs Burnley.
No, PSG.
Oh no, PSG. Slip of the tongue, yes.
Brian, we were going through it in our predicted lineup, like, you know, who we think will be involved. But we were going through how many players, like, we didn't pick to be involved tomorrow. It was almost like a whole team worth of talent who might struggle to get minutes tomorrow. Do you think we'll get if we'll get a good indication, you know, of the pecking order for Frank tomorrow in terms of where people are in the squad at the moment?
Yeah, I do, and I'm very, very happy that you put a certain person on in the second half. I think, like he had last season, my boy, Mr. Alfie Devine, I really hope gets the minutes, because people like Justin Concrete and these youth players, I really want to see them get the minutes just like they did last pre-season and have their chance to shine. But you were right, the talent you were going through, whether you want to say they're first-team talent, youth talent, not ready, there is our whole list of names there, wasn't there?
Yeah, because you look back to like last pre-season, I don't know how it worked out like this, but we had a clear kind of first team play the first half, and then the kids would come on in the second half and actually smash it. But now it just seems like it's going to be hard to get the kids even on the pitch.
Exactly. Like you said, when you're trying to mix and match it for the first half and second half, God knows what to do. Then you've got people like Kudus, who's obviously going to have his debut in a Spurs shirt. There is a lot of talent there. And it just shows as well that we need to start getting players out the door, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Incoming. But yeah, and you've got to think that the players that don't play tomorrow or feature, maybe they will play against Luton next week. Yeah, maybe that'll be their time. And this is the other thing we've got to look at. Hopefully Frank will rotate and use these players and give them the minutes so the first teamers are already come first day. But that fringe team or the youngsters do get those minutes to impress.
Yeah. Anything else that really stood out for you in that press conference today?
Just every. I mean, obviously, I'm sure every manager is doing it, but very, very classy of him. The very first thing he did to pay tribute to Jota and Silva. I'm sure a lot of Premier League managers are doing that, but let's be serious. We only care about what our manager says and does. He's just a class act. Obviously, the joke he said about Arsenal when he said no, he was going on about teams that haven't been defeated. And then he realised, oh, wait a minute, one team has done it, but we don't say it. Yeah, the other thing I will say, and obviously take it with a pinch of salt, is him going on about how important the relationship is with Levy, Vinay and Lange. And I think the Vinay and Lange one is going to be the biggest one, because hopefully this investment's coming and Daniel Levy will be stepping aside from footballing matters. But we always start with this, it's a brilliant addition and the relationship is good and we know how it turns out normally. But I think Vinay is having a huge impact on things all around the club. And it's going to be interesting to see how it develops.
Yeah, he also quite interesting, you know, he was saying the aim for this club is to compete on multiple fronts. That was what he was saying. He said the last time we did that was 2019 when we got to the Champions League final and we finished top four in that season. I actually think we got to a semi-final of the League Cup as well in that season as well. So for you, what do you think competing on multiple fronts, how would you define that for this season for Frank? Like, does he have to reach a certain target in the cup competition to say he has competed? Does he have to, if he goes well in the cups, does he have to finish in a certain level? What's the level he has to finish in the league to say he's competed on multiple fronts, do you think?
Well, before he came in and whoever the manager had been, it would have been 8th in the Premier League, start off in the Premier League just alone. But if Gibbs White comes through the door, that goes up to top 6. Then obviously, depending on who else comes, then we'll see.
You mean when Gibbs White comes through the door?
Sorry, that's a slip of the tongue. When And when moment does happen, I'm going to be absolutely doolally and hyper than people have ever seen me when that moment comes. I think getting out of the Champions League group stages, especially seeing as his first ever season dealing with 4 competitions and his first in Europe. And as Ben knows, every single year I will say, I want the FA Cup. I want the FA Cup. And then the Carabao Cup, we'll see. But I do love that he remembered when they were asking about 84, and he said that was a bit before me. But when Alan Nielsen scored the win, he couldn't remember the year, but he remembered the Danish player won it. So, yeah, I would say at the moment, top 8 to 6, depending on the window. And that could change if we have the blockbuster window that we are being led to believe may happen. Win the FA Cup, get out of the group stages, and with the Carabao Cup, well, whatever he does with that, maybe that'll be the one that he uses to rotate heavily. And fine by me. I mean, we all went mad at Ange when we went out of the Carabao Cup very early, and us 3 were there, and that was without Europe. So I think with Europe and with Frank's first season and being in 4 competitions, if there's a cup that we're going to throw away, not that we should, but if there is one, I hope it's the Carabao Cup.
Yeah. Do you reckon with the money that we're spending, do you reckon the club have told him his aim is to get back in the Champions League? Do you reckon that's what the aim is?
Well, put it this way: if Spurs have said to him that is the aim to get back in the Premier League,
Champions League, sorry, to get back in the Premier League. Heaven forbid we ever have to say that sentence.
It was very close. It was very close.
Heaven forbid. But if it's to get back into the Champions League, then I will say, whatever it is holding up, I know the dispute, whatever, offer the extra money to get Gibbs White through the door. Start giving him some players. If right now, if you're with the squad we have currently, let's just say Gibbs White is here, if you think that's big enough to break Liverpool, the filth, Man City and Chelsea, and then let's put Newcastle in as well, then you've got another thing coming. It's just
not good enough.
If you're going to set a realistic / unrealistic target right now of getting back into the top 4, then you realistically need to start bringing players in for him, and quick.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the league right now. There's only real one spot, in my opinion, available to get Champions League football, because there's no chance we're finishing above Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Look at Chelsea now. I can't see us finishing above them. So there's only one spot up for grabs.
Great.
So it's going to be really difficult if they're going to hold him to that this season, which I don't think they will. I think probably getting it, finishing top 6, top 7, Europa League qualification for next season via the league, I think is a good return for us.
Yeah, and do remember, if we finish in the top 8, let's just take everything out of the way. We finish in the top 8, that is a massive improvement on last season. Massive, obviously league-wise. We like we've said before when us 3 have been talking, when we had Poch, it was the top 4 and trying to break into a top 4. It's not the top 4 anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more money involved. So to say top 4 right now is just simply, for me, totally utterly unrealistic. League wise.
It's likely that 5th will get Champions League, but it's not a guarantee, is it?
Yeah,
No.
Exactly. But let's say if the players come in that we have been linked with, and the investment comes in, then you'd expect a serious push for it, wouldn't you? If we get a Wharton, a Gibbs White, let's say we get whether Romero stays, we get a strike, then you've got to say you've got to be aiming for top 6 absolute minimum, and 5th maybe be in that position like you said, Ben. But yeah, staying top 4 outright at the moment, or Spurs, if they were saying we want Champions League football again next season, then you've got to get off the pot and start bringing in the players.
But if the board are signing players like Kudus and Gibbs White, and we'll have to see what else they do you not think in their mind they're signing this because they want to get back in the Champions League? Like, that's the aim?
Without a doubt, Sim. But like we said, we see other clubs strengthening big time, and we do need strengthening. I think we need 2 or 3 more after Gibbs White, high caliber players for a squad. Like I said, you got to remember, those other teams we're talking about now are used to playing 4 competitions, season in, season out. We were used to, but we always fell short. And now, if we want to play with the big boys, we are going to need a lot of big boys to come in.
Yeah, this investment is obviously the goal is to play regular Champions League football. Obviously, that's got to be the goal, but that doesn't mean that this is going to be the sole aim of this season. Like,
Exactly.
This is Frank's first season. We just need to settle things down, get his philosophy in, get all the players together, create a team kind of atmosphere, and just see where it takes us. I think this year is just kind of a bedding in period kind of thing.
And do you know what I actually think as well, with once he gets his first season over, or even come the January transfer window, seeing where we are, seeing the kind of football we play or will be playing, I think it might attract a load more people. I think seeing how happy, please God, the team will be, and how far we're going, and how well we're playing and adapting, and how his formation and how the team look, I think it will be a more appealing place to come when when players see what Frank's doing.
But do you think we're expected to at least like be in the race for that 5th place? Like we expect. What I would expect. Do you think the club expect him to at least like be close to it?
Oh, the
like,
club without a doubt.
Season.
The club without a doubt. But we know the club have set very, very high expectations, but haven't really backed it with the quality of players. When Morgan Gibbs-White, I almost said if again, when Morgan Gibbs-White is through, one thing I will credit the club and the board, including me, is we have never gone into 2 teams, no matter where they are in the Premier League, and said, right, your best players, we're coming in and we're taking them. We've always done. Go on, Ben.
I think that's what the club want. I think they want him to challenge for the top 5, but I don't know if they expect it this season.
Yeah, that's an easier way of putting it. But once Gibbs-White is here, like we said, the last time we went into, I can't remember the time under Levy where we've gone into the Premier League teams. As I said, Gibbs-White, their best player, I'd say, and Kudus alongside Bowen or just below, whichever way you look at it. I can't remember a time where we haven't done that or gone to 2 Premier League teams and said, all right, who's on a free contract, who's in the last year or whatever, and gone back to back and brought in 2 quality players that are Premiership proven. So that's a definite change. But to expect 5th or top 4 race beyond wild expectations, I believe.
I think expecting it. I think top 4. No, you can't expect that. I think that 5th place though. I think that 5th place is up for grabs. I do. I think Newcastle obviously right now ahead of us, but they've also got a thin squad. Last time they were in Europe, they didn't exactly do great. They went out of the Champions League quite early, and they didn't do very well in the league. And I don't think their squad depth has improved massively, to be honest, since that point. They still got that core 11, and then after that, it's still fairly weak. Now, not to say that doesn't mean they're better than us right now, but I think when it comes to squad depth, I do think you can make a good case that, especially when Gibbs-White comes in, we're getting better squad depth than them. They've obviously been together longer, and this is Frank's first year. But I think the club might see it as an opportunity that 5th place is gettable.
All I could hear is the Simeon Frank believership going up and up and up, but a very subdued tone. There's subtle hints that you're fully Frankish. I completely believe that the club expect top 5. I would, without a doubt, that's probably what the club is saying. And again, this all depends. That's what I would imagine Levy and everyone around him is saying. But if new investment when it comes in, if it's coming in, then I think the expectations will be set high because they will put the money down and back it, hopefully. And then if they do, Frank has got a very, very big job in his first season.
When you say like the expectancy is to finish top 5, then what are we saying if we don't finish top 5?
I'm not saying the expectancy is to finish top 5, but I think we're definitely expected to be like in that race. Like we shouldn't be come April like well off it. Like that's
We should be with the squad that we have. That we should be.
I don't think so.
I think
finished 5th 2 seasons ago. I know last season was very difficult, but we won the Europa League, and I think we know we should be a lot better than that. And I think with the money we're spending, right, compared to with Villa not looking like they can spend at the moment. Newcastle, we'll see what happens with Isaac, but look, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong, they're going to be tough, but there's no reason we can't compete with them. Like, I think the other teams are being stripped for all their quality.
That's what I said.
Brighton.
I said with this squad we should be.
Oh, we should be. I thought you said we shouldn't be.
We
Sorry.
should.
I thought you said we shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. We should be, yeah.
Simeon,
I agree. Sorry, I misheard you.
Where's your Simeon right now as a Spurs fan? Not what the club think. What is your minimum expectation or prediction for us in the league? If someone had to give you right here, right now,
Minimum.
yeah,
Bare minimum, I would say, if we're finishing below 7th, that's a poor season, in my opinion.
Even after last season in the league,
even after last season, that last season, I believe, in my opinion, was an anomaly with the quality we have. I think if we finish, I think finishing below Villa and Newcastle would be disappointing but acceptable considering they've been with their teams longer and they're maybe just a bit ahead of us in terms of, you know, that togetherness and that cohesion within the teams. Albeit I think our squads, in my opinion, are comparable and I think we can compete with them. But right now, there's a explainable reason why we could finish below them, albeit I think we could finish higher than them. But I don't think we should really be. Look, obviously, I'm saying this now, but the context of the season, come December, let's say we've had another massive injury crisis like last season, and we're playing Gray and whoever at centre back again, right? Then the context comes into it. But I'm saying right now, if all goes well, our squad's not massively decimated with injuries, and our squad is comparable to the teams right now. I don't think right now we should be finishing below Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth, these middle clubs, because they're getting stripped of all their talent. They're going to, yes, reinvest it, but the talent they're getting stripped of are proven in the league. All these new guys that are going to come in, some will work, some won't. They're going to be through a bit of transition. We have to take advantage of that. And we're taking some of their best players as well. And we're spending a lot of money. We're signing Prem-proven players. You got to hope Romero, Van de Ven, if Romero says that is, you know, they're not going to have a third season in a row without for 4 months again. Right, Bergval's a year older. He's going to be straight into it. Hopefully, Solanke, we can get him scoring more regular goals. You know, you're going to have Tell, who's had that bedding period. Hopefully, he's in a better place than he was last season. Maybe Son, with Frank playing a different position, he can get back to goal scoring as well. You know, you're adding Kudus and Gibbs White. You got Maddison and Decky into that. Obviously, we need probably a number 6 in there. But I'm looking at the quality we have. Like, I think anything below 7th would be very disappointing.
100%. 100%. Anything below 7th will be poor, to be honest.
I have to say, Simeon, you've just been saying a word. I can tolerate that word context again. After Spurs Leicester, when I went absolutely nuts at that bloody word, that word's acceptable to me again. See,
you wait till the injury crisis hits this season, and you're going to be banding out the context all day long.
Oh, mate, listen, it's an acceptable word to me again. It was in room 101 under Ange. I think that this is the other big thing. I don't think we have the injuries this season. Obviously,
that would be
pick up here and there.
Good, yeah.
I think that's going to be a massive part on it. I think the rotation that Frank will do, because of the change of systems, and he'll want different players. I think fullbacks, he'll use them sparingly for stuff. I think the fullbacks as well, when it comes to the crunch, will be used like Poch did with Rosen, Davies, and Walker and Trippier. I think they're going to be vital parts of his game. And I think that's why it's quite important we get another left back or right back in. And obviously, Carl Walker-Peters is off to the Hammers. We take Kudos, they get Carl Walker-Peters.
Brian, what do you think of the theory that we could be getting a new centre back because Van de Ven might play a bit more time at left back?
The only thing that worries me about it, is obviously his hamstrings. I'm happy that obviously with Van de Ven or with Frank this season, he's not going to be making so many last-ditch runs to get back because of the way we play, which is obviously going to be hugely beneficial for his hamstrings and the way Van de Ven plays. But then I think if you're pulling him out on the left wing, left back, and asking him to do all that running, it could be a problem. For me, whether they can sort that out with his hamstrings, and obviously he's changed his running style, hasn't he, apparently, which is meant to be helping, and maybe that will have a huge benefit to his style and lack of injuries, but that would concern me. I think we need to bring in another, depending where Thomas Frank actually sees Spence's main position, as on the right or on the left, because whichever one it is, we need to bring in another fullback to make sure we got 4, in my opinion.
Well, look, Brian, it's been a pleasure as always. And as always, look, this guy is nearly on 10K subscribers, people.
We are.
Everyone go to Tottenham on Tour and smash that subscribe button. Such hard work he puts in to that channel, but not only that channel, well, such hard work he puts in for this channel as well. So everyone go over to Tottenham on Tour, smash that subscribe button. Especially if you're fully Frankish, because if you're fully Frankish, you need to get over to Tottenham on Tour, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. If you're fully Frankish, a Frankaholic, on the Frank train, available at We Are Tottenham TV stores worldwide. Yeah, we are. I think we are less than 650 away now. We've had a huge surge, and if we can get to 10K before the start of the season, that will be awesome. But guys, it is always nothing more than a pleasure to spend any time with you guys and the We Are Tottenham TV community. And it's also so refreshing to be this positive, this happy, this hyper, going into a season ahead, all aboard the Frank Express. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Big up, Daigle. We shall see you on the fan show tomorrow, hopefully.
You will indeed. See you all. Have a great weekend. Thomas, Frank. Thomas, Frank.
Big up to you, Daigle. Just a couple of super chats just before we go. Kate and Jimbo says that Frank as a coach is leagues above Ange. Gents, come on, you Spurs. We'll see. And Crazy Rat, to finish off the show, will say, Brian's been glazing Frank with such might. He's shining him up day and night. But Sim the Great, with a watchful eye, will step in and ask, why, oh, why?
Oh, poetic as ever, Crazy Rat. Incredible.
And on that note, we'll see you all tomorrow, people. Remember, embargo section coming out at 10:30 tonight. And then, obviously, we'll be live tomorrow at 2:45 for Frank's first game in charge as Tottenham manager. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.